I'm looking at Invention 8 in F major of J.S. Bach. It's a two-part invention, BWV 779. And the first thing I'm struck by is the subject, which has two parts to it. It has an ascending broken chord with staccato and descending legato scale. Now when I see that staccato configuration in broken chord, I'm thinking of one of the dozen a days that I use, Edna Mae Burnham, for my students. It's called hopping, and it looks like it's in her book 1. And I use this as an opportunity to get the spring wrist forward motion like this, because this is what it is. Also do minor, parallel minor. Motion. And you can see the wrist springing forward. It's very flexible. It really does have this sort of, natural forward pull toward here. Now, for a more rapid tempo, there's not as much of these separate impulses. You're going into ready in general for the Invention 8, because I get into that spring forward wrist kind of mood. And I'm going to go slowly. So we have this broken chord going up, and here's how I execute it. I think bum, ba, ba, C, and finally da, 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 leetle, 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 finish. That's the subject. Now it gets higher, forward, rotate. This is a second idea. Back to this and it's more, was there more of that? And you'll notice as he chain linked more and more of those 16th notes going down, which is the second part of the subject, it increased in intensity. Now the second idea that came in was built on a skip up, step down, step up pattern. And then he brought it down in skips, which sort of is almost like an inversion idea when you go from this to this to this. That takes the kind of inverted idea of going down a broken chord, although in this case he's going down from A, F, not to C, but A, F to D. But now you want to get the sense of rotating from side to side so it doesn't get notey. Side to side. So that's a motion of the arm there. Now, and those were sequences. Now when he goes over to the dominant key, he actually cadenced when he went yum, bum, 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 secondary, dominant there. So now he's in the dominant key, and he takes the subject again into the dominant. And I think again of the spring forward wrist, the E, the G, and a ride, da 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 leedle, 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 da 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 dee da dee da dee da dee, bum bum, ba G minor. This is development, da 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 leedle, 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 bum 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 bum, development D minor, da 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 dee da. Very substantial development section where he uses diminished chords, which is so beautiful. He goes into different minor keys. This is a totally beautiful section. To me, it's the most beautiful part of it, where he has development. The development section is so beautiful because of how he enters a lot of the different keys through their diminished chord, through their like their 7th degree of the scale, and make it a diminished like this. It's G minor. That's one place. And then here he has this. So it's very beautiful. It comes right under the minor. It's tonic and builds on the 7th degree of the diminished chord. Now in measure 21, he goes down in steps like this, with a dominant 7, the diminished chord, and another dominant 7. And that's so beautiful there, totally beautiful. So that's something to be aware of, what's going on there. So now when you do the left hand, you want to be very clear about how you shape the right hand subject, because it's going to be overlapping. Left hand's going to be overlapping with the subject in various places and with the second idea as well. So if you did ba 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 da 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 da, then this hand comes and overlaps ba 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 da 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 ba 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 ba. That's tricky because that has to really give the intensity and crescendo, because the hands are starting to overlap there, and then continuous sort of waves, you could say, of 16th notes overlapping each other. Then comes back the dominant key for the subject. Now you go into C major. Ba, 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 ba,